What's up, guys? It's me, Shane, here to give you another Digimon Adventure 2020 review and recount. And today's episode was called The Steel Solid Super Evolution. So, got my little handy dandy notes here, and I'm here to let you know what's going on. So, as we begin the episode, they're using the encyclopedia part to kind of do playbacks now. It was really interesting. This one was Greymon, and they were showing Greymon's battle with MetalTyrannomon and Orgemon, and hinting at something that was to come. And the Who's That Digimon portion, we're going to get Gabumon next week for good reasons, but I'll get into that later. So, as we saw, Orgemon had a pretty, according to the narration, made by the very talented Masako Nozawa, who, as most people know, is Goku, but she's also Agumon. Played Agumon in the original series, and I think she played Agumon anytime an Agumon pops up. So, get a recap showing that it was a fair but very intense fight between Orgemon and Greymon. They started to kind of bond over this battle, and then MetalTyrannomon shows up firing missiles and lasers, and Orgemon tells the children to go straight, and he meets his demise, and unfortunately Greymon loses that battle. And we now see the children inside of a cave, and during the time when MetalTyrannomon was rampaging, Koshiro, Izzy, was recording, trying to get data on everything. Agumon is laid out, and during this time, we had Tentomon, Piyomon, and Palmon going out to get food, and Yamato has this discussion with Tai about, the retreating was the best thing they had to do. And Tai said the fight that we had, it wasn't about friend or foe or right or wrong. It was about pride. That's what Orgemon said. And Yamato was doubting whether Ogermon's words were true. And we get a nice little flash and a hint of what we saw in the original series between those two, because those two tended to butt heads a lot. They actually butt heads really heavily going into the Dark Master saga. So we're seeing hints of that, but their personalities are the same. They're intact, but they're slightly different. During this time, go through my notes a little bit. Go through this time with those two kind of arguing. It really wasn't arguing. It's just a battle of what they believe. Mimi doing her normal. I'm not feeling this vibe. Flower Child. They're kind of saying to Joe, hey Joe, you should do it. But Sora's being cool and saying no. They need to. She silently tells them no. They need to work it out. Agumon wakes up. Tai instantly, forgets about this whole thing going on with Yamato. Gives Agumon a hug, and Agumon is hungry. During this time, we're shown, and they mention it to us. The Sound Birdmon are scanning the forest. They're actively looking for them. So they have no active plan on how to even get to where they need to go. And if you leave everything to Koshiro, he's not only looking up data on MetalTyrannomon, he was looking up data on the words that were on the tablet about the Holy Digimon. And he has concluded that there were 7 different spots on the continent they're on. Is called the Cloud Continent. And includes there's 7 different spots. But he lined up the footage of Orgemon, sending his punch out into the waves to show go straight, lined it up to where they were before with the data, and it was literally straight. And they were just trying to find a way to get there. Well, throughout this whole period, MetalTyrannomon is like breaking through this massive forest. Because MetalTyrannomon, if I could do a height comparison, things like 2 stories high. He's really as tall as a building, and probably even bigger. And these trees are just massive, but he's breaking through them, shooting lasers. This black mist is still coming out of his mouth. Same black mist we've seen since the last episode of first meeting MetalTyrannomon. And during this period, we get Agumon and Tai going off in one direction, firing a fireball, getting the attention of the Sound Birdmon. and Yamato and the others are going another direction. Tai said, "We'll give you enough time so you guys can get away, and we'll catch up with you." So we're going to see how that works out as the children are running towards this forest. I'm going to cut over to Agumon digivolves into Greymon. Again, great evolution sequence for him. Great music when they're digivolving. And before he had left, Coach Rose sent him dead on MetalTyrannomon. The left hand shoots lasers, the right hand shoots missiles. So with that in mind, their main plan is to just get in close and possibly break one of the hands so they can have more of an advantage. And the battle between them was pretty fierce. Anytime Greymon was getting closer, they were getting swatted down with a hand or got swatted away with the tail. And they were just, it was a constant, I wouldn't say a back and forth, but it was a constant battle to get closer and closer. And it looked at one point that Greymon had gotten there. You get this inspirational music. They're getting closer. He gets his claw. His claw is big enough to fit in the palm of the hand of MetalTyrannomon. And then him and Tai are shot back. Because Tai is on his head this entire time. And this fight is more or less now it's not about getting away. It's about avenging Orgemon. And they are pushed so far back by this missile that they are skyrocketed over into the forest, hit a massive tree. And before we get to that part, we're going to go back to the children, to the other children. So Yamato and the gang, they get to a black swamp area where it's just like purple ooze, and it's the same dark mist that's coming out of MetalTyrannomon's mouth. And Coach Rose analyzing it, and they're wondering, can they even cross it? Mimi takes one of Joe's books, throws it, thing completely disintegrates in this nasty dark miasma smog bog. And the digital encyclopedia calls it dark mist, which I believe is a callback to the first Digimon adventure. I believe there was some dark mist, but I don't know if it was used in the same way or to the same effect. So now, with the battle going on simultaneously, the children are able to see this large eruption because when Tai and Greymon were doing their thing, when MetalTyrannomon first uses his missiles, it causes a massive explosion right before Metal Greymon is hit into the tree. And they're able to see, they're getting the front row seat of this battle. And the music is ramping up, and you're wondering, you know that, well, in the back of my mind, you know they're gonna pull it out somehow, especially given the title of this episode, which they do. Once MetalTyrannomon shoots them again with this point-blank laser, him and Tai's connection makes the Crest of Courage appear on the Digivice again. And while the evolution sequence wasn't as elaborate as Agumon and Gabumon's transformation into champions, it was still pretty decent. Even though it was likened to maybe a mixture of Togemon and Bergermon. Like they do the voice where it's Cho, Super Evolution, Cho Shinka. You see the head, you see the massive metal left arm coming on Metal Greymon, and lo and behold, it's Metal Greymon. And the art for this part is completely different. The one thing I have to say about Digimon Adventure 2020, art is fantastic. Art has been great all the way through. But this particular sequence was almost movie, like kind of movie level when you see an animated movie. It looks really great. When Metal Greymon's blue eyes are glowing and you see the little red coming from his metal chest piece. Now he has a metal chest piece, metal arm, you got the wings and the metal headpiece. The glimmer and shine off of the parts on him that are shining or glinting from any bit of light that's on there, pretty fantastic. So then we get this massive comeback where Metal Greymon, using the trident arm, swats away the missiles before MetalTyrannomon can even shoot him with the laser, bites on his arm, throws him, and he goes right into this dark miasma, dark mist. Doesn't melt. He's just still spewing the stuff, and he gets up himself, all the tubes on him just pop off, and he just fires this laser. Well, this now Metal Greymon can fly, so Metal Greymon jumps in the air, is hovering there, and we get the opening of the chest part. And you think you're gonna see Giga Blaster like we saw in the original. You see the missiles, but the missiles light up, and he unleashes Giga Storm, which is just a straight beam right down on MetalTyrannomon, completely destroying him, making him turn into little data bits. And I have to say, the music for this particular evolution and sequence, without Koji, the original guy, I think his name's Koji Wada, who did most of the music for all of the Digimon series, they've done a really great job. Whoever is in charge of the music and directing and composing, fantastic. Mwah. Hats off to you. So after this battle, the voice acting is really great too, because Metal Greymon turns back into Agumon, and he's panting and he's tired, and you can feel the exhaustion on this little lizard dinosaur creature. And they're celebrating the fact that they got retribution, not revenge, but retribution and justice for Orgemon. And now they're trying to tackle the issue of how do they get to where they need to get these holy Digimon and rescue them. They can't go straight through, and their options are go to the left or go to the right. And they don't know which one is the right one. So, of course, they're going to split the party. Anybody who's dealt with D&D or watched Scooby-Doo, you understand that reference. They're going to split the party. One group is going to go left, one group is going to go right. And based on the preview, it's Yamato, Sora, and Joe with their partner Digimon, and the other three are going to be Koshiro, Mimi, and Tai. All in all, I believe this is actually episode 10. All in all, this was an amazing episode. Some people might have issues with the build-up for the Ultimate forms, and we even saw Omnimon in episode 2. Omnimon / Omegamon in episode 2. But given the circumstances, like I said again, that was appropriate. And given the circumstances here, it may seem like they're rushing, but this is really good pacing. They're coming against these strong foes. You gotta get stronger in turn, and there's no magical search for a MacGuffin or something that can get them there. It's the children already have their devices. The devices seem to already have the corresponding crest inside of them. And the fact that Tai was on top of Greymon the whole time, throughout the whole fight. He wasn't on the side, he wasn't on the ground, he was on top of him. Even when he digivolved into Metal Greymon, he was right there. I don't ever want that to stop. I don't ever want them to cut that out. That is an amazing detail that they are fighting as one with their partners. It's an amazing detail that you are it's not just everyone. Yeah, the next episode preview, I believe we're going to get Garurumon. So yeah, we're going to go through and see the 6 children get their ultimate forms. I get it, but I like this more as opposed to them grabbing a MacGuffin and then somewhere down the line they digivolve into their ultimate forms. This is so much better. The fact that Digimon are creatures that respond to the environment, and they are made to digivolve. They're made to evolve. I believe that was mentioned in not this last episode, but second to last, third to last, actually, when they met up with Joe and they're going over what our Digimon, they're made to digivolve. That's all it is. So, music, amazing. Visuals, amazing, especially that scene when we get Metal Greymon versus MetalTyrannomon. The interactions between the children and the Digimon and the children, not just partner to partner, but partner to other chosen child. Great. I may be slightly biased because I'm a huge fan of MetalTyrannomon and Metal Greymon, but I'm going to give this one 5 out of 5. Perfect. I can see myself when referencing how good this show is. I would probably point someone to these series, this episode and the last episode, and a series of these are some really good episodes to watch and some highlights showing what this is and what this is about. Also, yeah, and now that I think about it, this is a sequel. This is a part 2 to the last episode. This is technically a part 2. This is a really good part 2. It didn't leave us dragging too long. We addressed the people, the children, the characters' feelings on Orgemon passing. We get interaction because why should they instantly trust him? That was your motto, right? So we get a little bit of clashing conflict between Yamato and Tai. We even get there might even be a small seed, something to focus on later on in the series. Who knows? I'm seeing a lot of really good things, and this is honestly, I kind of wish I grew up with this one, but I don't think this would be as enjoyable if we didn't have the first one. So, tell me what do you guys think? Have you seen the episode? I highly recommend that you do. Which Ultimate Evolution are you looking forward to next? We got 5 more, and including the one that was shown in the preview. Let me know in the comment section down below. Please like the video, share the video. Please subscribe if you aren't. Hit that notification bell to get updated. We're getting a lot of videos coming out through. I'm doing my hardest, doing my best just for you guys. So please, wear your mask. Be safe. Be blessed. Be good. I'll see you next time.